Welcome to Bastards of Oblivion. I reported to boot camp in August of '81. Going to boot camp is an interesting experience all in itself, even in the mundane world, let alone in the spiritual world. Everyone is aware that they are being evaluated. We are being evaluated as a team or a unit, and each of us is being individually evaluated. Scenarios are sometimes created to distinguish some recruits from others without their knowledge. The test subjects mentioned in the first episode are tested in different ways. No matter who you are, boot camp is designed to tear you apart and remold you.
Many of you are going to desks in this country or to assignments in neutral countries. To those men who are going into the hottest spots, I hope that it will help you to do a better job. For after all, no war service provides a greater scope for individual initiative and imagination than this job for which you have volunteered.
And one time, at band camp,
I woke up around 1 a.m. I got out of my bunk and I walked to the bathroom. In the Navy, it is called the head. Every hour, a recruit replaces another recruit standing guard out the entry to the head. In this way, we are learning guard duty. It is still the first week of basic training. Tonight, there is an officer standing casually to the right of the door. At night, only one recruit is allowed to enter into the head at a time. Because of this, we have to ask the guard for permission. I stopped at the yellow tape on the floor. I saluted the officer. My fellow recruit whispered, "You don't have to salute me." The officer returned the salute. Because the officer was there, I said, "Permission to use the head, sir." And the recruit at the door said, "Don't call me sir, I'm one of you." The officer said, "Permission granted." I stepped into the head and bumped into another recruit leaving the bathroom. The guard blew his whistle and I was apprehended. The officer had disappeared. The next morning, I was called before the company commander. "What happened last night, recruit?"
I don't know, sir.
"You don't know?"
Yes, sir.
Well, let me refresh your memory. You breached protocol.
Sir?
Did you or did you not enter the head without clearance?
I don't know,
You
sir.
don't know. Listen to me, recruit, and listen very carefully. Did you ask for permission to use the head?
Yes, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
Were you granted permission?
Yes, sir.
By who?
I don't know, sir. An officer.
An officer.
He looked like an officer.
Later that day, we had yet another march and then another inspection. The commander scrutinized each and every one of us. The slightest infraction, real or implied, resulted in push-ups. The officer that granted me permission to use the head this morning stood in front of me. "Can you see me?" he asked. "Yes, sir," I answered. "Who said that?" the commander bellowed. He looked directly at me. The officer stepped back into the side. He had a very serious look on his face. The commander walked quickly over to me. "Who are you talking to, recruit?" he barked at me. "Lieutenant Christian, sir," I said. The entire company started to snicker and giggle. "You think this is funny? Everyone drop down and give me 20. "Yes, sir." In unison, and everybody did 20 push-ups and stood back up at attention. I and a few others in the company were the only ones who did not attend church on Sunday. I went to the first one, but that was it. It bothered me because I could feel that something wasn't right. Anyway, It was unfamiliar and uncomfortable, so I stayed in the barracks with the atheists. That afternoon, the atheists and myself became targets for conversion. At least they told us if we didn't want to convert, at least we could attend the services so that we could win another patch for our merit flag. And there was a lot of peer pressure for the rest of us. The atheists seemed to wrestle with it harder than I did. I could hear them talking behind me, saying things like, if he doesn't attend, then we should give him a blanket party. This would be around the 4th week or so. See, I do believe in God, without a doubt. So I caved and even purchased a little necklace with a cross to show my solidarity. It fell off in the shower and washed down the drain. When it did, I had goosebumps all over my body. I even remembered hearing evil laughter. I don't remember actually hearing the laughter, I just remember hearing it, which doesn't make sense. It's more like the memory of a memory. Anyway, it troubled me. Hearing it, which doesn't make sense. It's more like the memory of a memory. After I just remember it hearing it, which doesn't make sense. It's more like the memory of a memory. Anyway, it troubled me. The next day, I was again called before the company commander. It was 1,000 hours. This time, I was pulled out of the chow hall by the shore patrol. I was brought before the commander. The chaplain was there. Lieutenant Christian was there also. I was beginning to believe he was an hallucination, so I ignored him. "Good morning, recruit," the lieutenant said. I stayed silent. "Say good morning to the lieutenant, recruit," the commander said gently. "Good morning, sir," I said. The chaplain chuckled. "What is this, recruit?" asked the commander. He pushed a package toward me. It was from my mother. All packages and correspondence is searched and read. I had not yet received the package, of course, and I shrugged my shoulders. Another officer entered the room. "Have a seat, recruit, and relax. Airman, get the young man some water." "Yes, sir." The petty officer left for a second and returned with a glass of ice water. I took a sip and waited nervously. "Well, aren't you going to see what she sent you?" The commander laughed. I reached for the package, and I removed the already torn wrapping and opened letter. I was angry that they had opened it. "Anyway," the officer continued, "I am Lieutenant Commander Michael. I am with the Navy Psychiatrics, and I can see that you are angry that we have opened your gift." "You're a shrink," I said as I opened the box. I pulled out the plain silver pinnacle on its thin silver change and held it up for everyone to see. The shrink reached towards the necklace. "May I?" he said. I handed him the pinnacle. He closed it in both hands and closed his eyes. The room was silent for about 30 seconds, and I could hear the clicking of the clock on the wall. He opened his eyes and smiled and handed it back to me. "Are you a devil worshiper?" he said. "Oh, hell no," I answered. "Then why do you wear a pinnacle?" "I generally don't wear one," I said. "You bought a cross the other day at the BX. What happened to it?" "Everything you do is monitored and recorded here. It is boot camp, after all." "I lost it. It broke seemingly for no reason and fell off my neck and went directly down the shower drain," I said. The officers all looked at each other. The shrink stood up. "We'll be right back, recruit. You just relax here." "Yes, sir," I said, and they all left the office. I took a drink of water. The room began to get dark. I woke up with a start. The commander walked into the room. "You are dismissed, recruit." "They aren't coming back, sir?" I asked. "Who's not coming back, recruit?" He stared at me. Of course I was confused. "Nobody, sir." "That's correct. Now go get some chow." I looked at my watch. It was 0945. Now, when I had gotten in line, everything was exactly as it was when I was there the first time. The next 15 minutes was one long deja vu. Everything happened exactly the same up until the point when the shore patrol arrived and escorted some other recruit out of the galley.